The confirmation of charges hearing in the Dominic Ongwen case started on Thursday, 21st January 2016 at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. The hearing is scheduled to last for 5 days, from Thursday 21st to Wednesday 27th January 2016. The proceedings are being held before Pre-Trial Chamber 2 of the International Criminal Court, which is composed of Judge Cuno Tarfusser, presiding judge, Judge Marc Perrin du Brichambaut, and Judge Chang-ho Chung. The confirmation of charges hearing is a public hearing during which the ICC judges will decide whether or not there is sufficient evidence to establish substantial grounds to believe that Dominic Ongwen might have committed the crimes that the prosecutor has presented before the judges. The purpose of the hearing is to ensure that fairness of the process by protecting the suspects from facing charges and going to trial without substantial grounds and evidence. Asked by the presiding judge if the suspect has waived his right for the charges to be read in the courtroom, Principal Defense Counsel Mr. Crispus Ayena Odongo said that indeed his client is aware of the charges and he has waived his right.
I now ask Mr. Ongwen if he is fully aware of the charges the prosecutor presented against him, and if he was notified the charges in the language he fully understands and speaks, meaning a Acholi. Mr. Ongwen, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, from my point of view, whether the charges are read or not read is all going to be a waste of time. You may speak 5 words and only 2 issues are correct. You may speak 10 words and only 2 things are correct. The reading out these charges, whether they're true or not, is all going to be a waste of time. I've been handed out the document translated in Acholi, so I've read and understood it. Thank you.
The presiding judge further, in the interest of the public, read a summary of the charges.
I will just summarize that in this case, the prosecutor brings against Dominic Ongwen 70 charges.
Dominic Ongwen, alleged brigade commander of the Senior Brigade of the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA, is charged with war crimes and crimes against humanity committed during attacks against the civilian population in Lukodi, Pajule, Odek, and Arbok IDP camps between October 2003 and June 2004. Murder and attempted murder, torture, cruel treatment and other inhumane acts, enslavement, outrages upon personal dignity, pillaging, and destruction of property. Further, the prosecution alleges that from at least 1st July 2002 until 31st December 2005, Dominic Ongwen, Joseph Kony, and other senior brigade commanders were part of a common plan to abduct women and girls in northern Uganda that were then used as forced wives and sex slaves, tortured, raped, and made to serve as domestic help, and to conscript and use children under the age of 15 to participate actively in hostilities. After the opening of the proceedings, senior trial lawyer Benjamin Gumpet started presenting the prosecution's evidence.
For well over a decade, until his arrest in January of 2015, Dominic Ongwen was one of the most senior commanders in the Lord's Resistance Army, the LRA. The LRA is an armed group. It came into being in northern Uganda in the late 1980s. It aimed to overthrow the government of Yoweri Museveni, then, as now, the President of Uganda. The prosecution's allegations against Domenic Ongwen concern his conduct between July 2002 and December 2005. During that period, there was regular combat between LRA fighters and Ugandan government troops. But this was not just a civil war between people in uniform. Far from restricting itself to attacks on Ugandan armed forces or other branches of the authorities, the LRA attacked ordinary civilian citizens who wanted no more than to be allowed to live their lives in peace. It ambushed civilian vehicles driving along the roads. It attacked and burnt the camps into which villagers had been forced as a protection measure because of earlier attacks. It looted the food, clothes, and other basic necessities which its victims needed to survive. It killed and wounded innocent people who had no interest in the violent power struggle the LRA was engaged in. It enslaved the survivors to carry away the loot and to serve as child soldiers and sex slaves.
In the course of the presentation of evidence, the Office of the Prosecutor presented documents, maps, recording of intercepted radio communications, videos, witness statements, and other evidence. Pre-trial Chamber 2 authorized 2,026 victims to participate in the proceedings. 1,434 victims are represented by Joseph Akwenyu Manoba and Francisco Cox, and 592 victims by common legal representative Paulina Masida. After prosecution, common legal representative of victims, Paulina Masida, addressed the court.
Mr. President, Your Honors, 30 years have elapsed since the inception of the atrocity perpetrated by the Law Resistance Army in northern Uganda. Victims have been waiting for the proceedings to start before this court for 13 years. In the course of the years, they expressed a lot of frustration regarding the long-lasting non-execution of the warrants of arrest issued in 2005 against the most senior commanders of the LRA. Some victims also articulated a disbelief and loss of trust in the proceedings before this court. Some victims have died. Nonetheless, the transfer of Mr. Ongwen to the court has restarted a process of trust towards the court, and victims have expressed relief and hope to contribute to the search for the truth about the events at the origin of their victimization, and to have finally their voice heard in these proceedings. For the absolute majority of victims, except a very limited number enjoying a dual status of victim and witness, the process of application for participation appears to be the only way to provide an account of their experience which might be of relevance for the search for the truth.
Jen Adong, legal representative of the victims, gave a presentation on the origin and the impact of the conflicts on victims and the communities. Hearings will continue on Monday, 25th January, with the continuation of the presentation of the legal representatives of victims.